Hey y'all, it's your favorite piano teacher, Ms. Cece, and welcome back to my classroom, Ms.Cece'S classroom. Now, if you guys remember from last time, I gave you two rhythms that I want you guys to learn how to count and clap. And at the end of today's class, we're going to revisit those rhythms and we're going to count and clap them together once we learn our new things for today. Now, in today's class, we're going to be learning about ties, dots, and syncopation. So, let's get ready to learn. That was ugly. Now, dots and ties are two types of markings that are used to alter a note's duration. Now, if you guys also remember from last class period, we defined what note duration meant. And note duration is the length of time for which a note is sustained, right? So usually when you add a dot or a tie to a number, you're extending the note's duration for a certain amount of time. Now, when you add a dot to a note, you're extending the duration of that note by half of that note's value. So for example, say we had a dotted quarter note like we see here. That means that will equal a quarter note plus half of the value of a quarter note, okay? Now we also know another note that has the value of half of a beat, and that note is an eighth note. Another way you could determine the duration of a dotted quarter note is to add a quarter note plus an eighth note, since that also equals to half of a beat. So, Ms. Cece, how will we go about counting and clapping a dotted quarter note? So we have a quarter note plus an eighth note is going to be one beat plus half of a beat. So we will count it as 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Let's try it now with a dotted half note, okay? So remember, when you add a dot to a note, you're adding half of that note's value. So half note has how many beats? 2 beats, okay? Now when you add this dot, you're adding half of the value of this half note. So that means that you're adding 1 beat. 2 plus 1 equals 3, okay? So our dotted half note has a value of 3 beats. So 2 beats with our half note and 1 beat is a quarter note. 2 plus 1 equals 3, okay? How will we go about counting it? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So for our last example, we're gonna do a dotted eighth note, okay? So let's review. When you add a dot, you're adding half of that note's value. So an eighth note has a value of half of a beat. So we're gonna add half of the value of an eighth note, which is gonna be a 16th note, with an eighth note plus a 16th note, which will equal your dotted eighth note, okay? So how you will count that? 1 and a, 1 and a. Now with a tie combines notes that share the same pitch, as you have right here. You can usually find a tie right at the measure line, just like the one I've written out here, and it extends the duration of a note into the next measure, as you see right here. Now, people have different ways that they go about counting when a tie is in place, but I'm going to show you guys my way that I use with my children, just because I want to make sure as they're counting, they acknowledge the fact that there's a tie there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Now, when you extend the 4 over, you're acknowledging that the tie is right there, and that helps you internalize that. Now, when it comes to counting and clapping a rhythm that has a tie, you extend your clap just as the tie extends the 4th beat into the next measure. Here's your example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you guys, so I have some rhythms behind me that I've written out that we're going to practice, but before we can practice these rhythms, we first have to learn about our last concept, and that is syncopation. Syncopation. Now, syncopation is a rhythmic technique where the beat is intentionally displaced, so it makes the music sound offbeat on purpose. So you could just think of it as an intentional break in the flow of a certain rhythm. So to have a better understanding of syncopation, we have to talk about two different type of beats that we deal with in music. You have a downbeat and then you have an upbeat. Typically when you have a 4 count, such as what I have right here, the 1 and the 3 are the downbeats, which are also known as the stronger beats. And the 2 and 4 are our upbeats, which is also known as the weaker beats. Another way that you could think about it is 1 and 3 being the accented beats and 2 and 4 being the unaccented beats. So when you come across syncopated rhythms, instead of there being an accent on the regularly accented beats such as 1 and 3, you will actually have accents on the weaker beats such as 2 and 4. Or it could really be any variation of that. Now we're going to practice with a couple of syncopated rhythms that I have created. You have dots and ties throughout these rhythms, and that is also what we learned about today. So just as a quick review, remember when you add a dot to a certain note, you're adding half of that note's value. You guys can see we have a dotted quarter note in our first rhythm. So that means that this is a quarter note plus half of the value of a quarter note. And half of the value of a quarter note is an eighth note. So I'm going to demonstrate the first example for you guys, and then you're going to do it yourself. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, now your turn. 1, 2, ready, and clap and count. Excellent job. With our next one, we're including a tie. So let's review. Remember, a tie combines notes that share the same pitch, okay? So this tie that we have right here, it is extending the value of the note. So once again, I'm going to demonstrate and you guys are going to clap it back for me. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, did you guys hear that syncopation in the rhythm? Because remember, with syncopation, it's intentionally meant to sound offbeat. So you guys heard how I accented 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That was syncopation. Now it's you guys' turn to clap this syncopated rhythm. 1, 2, ready, and clap. Excellent job. Now let's move on to our last one. We have dotted quarter note followed by an eighth note that is tied to another eighth note, and it repeats that again. So I'm going to count and clap the last one and you guys follow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, now your turn. 1, 2, ready, and clap and count. Excellent job. Okay, y'all, so as we continue to move along through our classes, I am still going to throw some rhythms at y'all. Syncopated, regular. I'm going to throw rhythms at you when I feel like it. So just be on the lookout. Be sure to practice these rhythms. Be sure to practice what we learned today. We still got one more thing to do. Hold on. I'm sorry. Did y'all forget? Because I definitely didn't. I'm one of the teachers. We say we're going to do something, we're going to do it. Any of y'all wanted that person in the class, like where the teacher forgot about the assignment up until like somebody said something about it and now you just upset because you didn't do it? Or was that me? All 4 years of school. Anyway, with our new knowledge that we learned today with dots, ties, and syncopation, this should be easy. With our first one, we have a key signature of 3/4 this time. So top number lets us know how many beats are in each measure, okay? So that means we have 3 beats in each measure. And look right there, that dotted half note. So that means that this is a half note plus a quarter note, which gives us 3 beats, okay? Now, I'm gonna count and clap this rhythm, and then you're gonna count and clap it, okay? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2, 3. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, now your turn. 1, 2, ready, clap. Excellent job. I'm moving along to our next rhythm. This is also a syncopated rhythm, okay? So let's look at it. We have a tie right here, and we have a dotted quarter note at the end of the measure. So I'm gonna demonstrate, and then you guys are gonna join me, okay? 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Let me do that one more time for you guys, okay? 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Now that was some syncopation for you. Okay, now you guys turn. 1, 2, ready, and clap. Excellent job. Once again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in with me in Ms. Cece's classroom. It's been an honor being y'all teacher. I enjoy it greatly. I really do. Remember, until next time, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and go practice toodles.